I'm Alex Cardinale, and you're watching a Alex Cardinale Entertainment production right here on the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Enjoy the show.
Super Bowl 60 post show with Alex Cardinale. Join us for an exciting recap. Hey, football fans. Dive into the action as Saturday with Alex Cardinale proudly presents the Super Bowl 60 post show. Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan Alex Cardinale is ready to break down every moment of this thrilling game between the 2025 AFC champions, the New England Patriots, and the 2025 NFC champions, the Seattle Seahawks. What to expect? A complete recap. Relive the highs and lows of Super Bowl 60. MVP. Discussion. Who do you think deserves to be the MVP? Fan interaction. Share your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Live from Port St. Lucie, Florida. Don't miss out on Alex's expert insights and entertaining commentary. Whether you're celebrating a win or analyzing the game, this is the place to be. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard.
Hello, NFL fans! Welcome to the Super Bowl 60 post show presented by Saturday with Alex Cardinale. And what an amazing Super Bowl 60 was. It started off boring during the first half, but it really picked up in the second half of the game. I actually enjoyed Super Bowl 60. So I welcome you all to my Super Bowl 60 post show, where I'm going to be sharing my honest thoughts and my honest opinion on Super Bowl 60, and I'm going to review Super Bowl 60 as well. I'll give you my Super Bowl 60 MVP, and I'll let you know everything you need to know about Super Bowl 60. This is going to be an awesome show. So as always, feel free to share your opinions on Super Bowl 60 in the chat or in the comments, and feel free to communicate with me on Super Bowl 60. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First things first, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks are now two-time Super Bowl champions. The Seattle Seahawks absolutely dominated and destroyed the New England Patriots, and they got payback from 11 years ago in Super Bowl 49. Remember, in Super Bowl 49, the Patriots beat the Seahawks in the fourth quarter. Well, 11 years later, in 2026, Super Bowl 60, the Seahawks decimate and destroy the New England Patriots. All right, so let's start by talking about the headlines from Super Bowl 60. The final score, Seattle Seahawks 29, New England Patriots 13. This was a really, really good game for Seattle Seahawks fans. Seattle Seahawks definitely brought a good defensive plan. They definitely did. Not only did the Seahawks beat the Patriots, but they limited them to 2 touchdowns and a lot of turnovers and a lot of sacks. So while the New England Patriots are a good team and Drake May has a good future ahead of him, they were absolutely demolished today in Super Bowl 60. So our first headline, Seattle Seahawks destroy New England Patriots to get their redemption from 11 years ago. 29-13. Now, New England Patriots rookie quarterback Drake May suffered 7 sacks. Yes, you heard me right. 7 sacks. A touchdown of sacks for Drake May. He also threw a couple of interceptions and he caused a couple of fumbles, which led to the Seahawks getting touchdowns. So the Seahawks defense really did the work today for Super Bowl 60. It brought them their second Super Bowl championship. So congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for being the 2025 Super Bowl champions. They won the Super Bowl 60 for the 2025 season. So this game was dominated by the Seattle Seahawks defense, forcing Drake May under pressure to throw a couple of interceptions, cause a couple of fumbles, and he was sacked 7 times. That is a shocker of all shockers. You know, last night on Super Saturday with Alex Cardinale, I predicted the Seahawks were going to win, but I thought this was going to be a competitive ball game, but it was anything but competitive because the Seahawks dominated this ball game. Now, this was the first Super Bowl in a long time to have 0 touchdowns through the first 3 quarters of action. That's right. In the first 3 quarters, it was all field goals, and it was all to Seattle. Seattle had a lot of field goals in the first 3 quarters. So there were no touchdowns until the fourth quarter. So that is quite the headline for this year's Super Bowl. All right. So the final score is obviously Seattle Seahawks 29, New England Patriots 13. Now, the New England Patriots had a phenomenal season. They've got nothing to be ashamed about other than their performance in the Super Bowl this year. However, they had a phenomenal season. Mike Vrabel, in his first year as a head coach, brought the New England Patriots back to the Super Bowl, and he did so without Tom Brady. However, Drake May is no Tom Brady, and this Super Bowl proved that. Unfortunately for the New England Patriot fans, Drake May has a lot to learn, but he could take this loss and the offseason to better his game and hopefully return to a Super Bowl in the future, and hopefully there he can win a Super Bowl. But again, I have a lot of respect for the head coach of New England Patriots. He led a team that was crappy the last couple of years to the Super Bowl this year. That takes a lot of hard work, and he definitely did that. So, right now we're going to take a look at how the Patriots and how the Seattle Seahawks made it to the big stage today. And let's start with the losers first. Let's start with the New England Patriots. Here is how the Patriots made it to Super Bowl 60. The New England Patriots reached Super Bowl 60 by completing a historic 14-3 regular season and navigating a difficult 3-game postseason path. After finishing with the worst record in the AFC in 2024, the Patriots tied the NFL record for the largest single-season turnaround by winning 10 additional games in 2025 under first-year head coach Mike Vrabel. Playoff path to Super Bowl 60. The Patriots entered the playoff as the AFC's number 2 seed and defeated 3 teams with top 5 defenses to win the AFC Conference title. In the wild card round, they defeated the Los Angeles Chargers 16-3, which was their first playoff win since the 2018 season. In the divisional round, they defeated the Houston Texans 28-16. They forced 5 turnovers, including 4 interceptions. And in the AFC Championship, they defeated the Denver Broncos 10-7 in a blizzard. And they were the first team to go 9-0 on the road in a season. So the Patriots were undefeated on the road. And they won the AFC Championship game in a blizzard 10-7. Key factors of the turnaround: Drake May's MVP leap. In his second season, May led the NFL in completion percentage and yards per attempt, becoming an MVP finalist. The Road Warriors. New England became the first team in NFL history to finish 9-0 on the road in a single season. 8 regular season games and 1 postseason. Off-season overhaul. The team spent over $377 million in free agency, landing crucial starters like defensive tackle Milton Williams, wide receiver Stephon Diggs, and linebacker Harold Landry. Vibral's culture. Mike Vrabel was named NFL Coach of the Year for leading the team from 4-13 to the Super Bowl in his first season at the helm. And that is how the New England Patriots made it to Super Bowl 60, where unfortunately they were defeated by a score of 29-13. And now let's find out how the NFC champion Seattle Seahawks made it to Super Bowl 60. And now we can call the Seattle Seahawks the 2025 and Super Bowl 60 champions. Here's how the Seattle Seahawks made it to Super Bowl 60. The Seattle Seahawks reached Super Bowl 60 by finishing the 2025 regular season with a franchise record 14-3, securing the NFC's number 1 seed and home field advantage. Under second-year head coach Mike McDaniel, the team utilized a dominant dark side defense, the league's top-scoring unit, and an explosive offense led by quarterback Sam Darnold. Postseason path to Super Bowl 60. As the top seed, Seattle earned a first-round bye before defeating 2 NFC West divisional rivals at home to clinch the conference title. So they had a bye week on the wild card round because they secured the number 1 seed with the Week 18 win over the 49ers. In the divisional round of the playoffs, the Seattle Seahawks destroyed the San Francisco 49ers 41-6 with a dominant victory to advance to the championship game. And in the NFC championship game, they destroyed the Los Angeles Rams 31-27. Sam Darnold threw 3 touchdowns and 346 yards. Key factors of the 2025 season: the dark side defense, led by Pro Bowlers Devin Witherspoon and Leonard Williams. Seattle's defense allowed a league-low 17.2 points per game. Sam Darnold's resurgence. Replacing Geno Smith, Darnold threw for over 3,800 yards and led the league's 3rd highest scoring offense. So it was a great move for the Seahawks, moving on from Geno Smith, and now Sam Darnold came in there and threw for over 3,800 yards. That is really impressive. Really, really impressive. So Sam Darnold went from a pushover and someone that teams didn't want to becoming a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Got to have a lot of respect for that. Record-breaking offense. Wide receiver Jackson Smith, the Jabugga, set a franchise record with 1,793 rushing yards. Special teams impact. Rashid Shaheed, acquired mid-season, was the only NFL player to score both a kick and punt return touchdown. And the Seahawks entered Super Bowl 60 on a 9-game winning streak to face New England Patriots. And they entered with a winning streak, and they left with a win as the Seattle Seahawks beat the New England Patriots 29-13. All right, coming up next here on the Super Bowl 60 post show presented by Saturday with Alex Cardinale, I'm going to recap the first half of the game and the halftime show. So we'll get my thoughts on the first half and the halftime show coming up next. But first, since this show is being brought to us by Saturday with Dallas Cardinale, let's get ready for Saturday with Dallas Cardinale this Saturday, and it is Valentine's Day this Saturday, so it is time to get sexy.
Join the sexy Saturday Valentine's Day takeover with Alex Cardinale. Do you think you're cute? Do you know you're sexy? Well, it's time to turn up the heat, boys and girls. This Valentine's Day, let Alex Cardinale be your guide to a night full of fun, facts, and fabulousness. Event details. Date: Saturday, February 14th, 2026. Time: 10 p.m. Eastern/7 p.m. Pacific Where. Alex Cardinale Entertainment. YouTube channel What to Expect. Valentine's Day. Facts: discover intriguing facts about this romantic holiday. Weekend plans: get creative ideas for celebrating Valentine's weekend. Lovebird insights: learn all about these charming creatures of love. Featured fish species: dive into the world of Valentine's Day themed fish. Hosted by the lovable, cuddly, and undeniably sexy Alex Cardinale, this event promises to be a delightful mix of entertainment and enlightenment. So, get ready to celebrate love and style and make this Valentine's Day one to remember. Mark your calendars, prepare to have fun, and most importantly, get sexy. Subscribe now to the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel and join the live celebration. Let's make this Valentine's Day the best one yet.
On the next Saturday with Alex Cardinale, it's time to celebrate Valentine's Day. I hereby invite you to Sexy Saturday with Alex Cardinale, airing live this Saturday, February 14th at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's a Valentine's Day themed Saturday with Alex Cardinale. The animal of the world will be the lovebird. There will be a very special guest in the house. Learn about the pink kissing gourami and the bleeding heart tetra, our Valentine's Day themed Aqua Alex fish. There will be some Seagrass Farms featured fish. Chef Alex will have red velvet recipes. Play Valentine's Day 2 Truth and a Lie. Get some facts on Valentine's Day, things to do for Valentine's weekend, and a whole lot more. The road to WrestleMania 42, WrestleMania Rewind, will be Triple H versus Brock Lesnar from WrestleMania 29, and more. Don't miss Sexy Saturday with Alex Cardinale, live this Saturday, February 14th, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific, right here on YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Entertainment.
Get ready for the second annual South Florida Saturday with Alex Cardinale. Join us for an unforgettable evening as we wrap up the celebratory week with the biggest Saturday episode yet. Airing live on March 28th, 2026 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time/7 p.m. Pacific Time. This is the collab you've been waiting for. Special guest, Paul Cafaro. Just 24 hours after headlining Night 2 of the 12th YouTube Splash, the incredible Paul Cafaro is teaming up with Aqua Alex Cardinale. Together, they'll take you on a guided tour of Paul's ranch, showcasing his amazing aquariums and unique animals, including playful otters and exotic birds. Dive into South Florida fun, but that's not all. Aqua Alex Cardinale will also explore the St. Lucie County Aquarium and dive into all the fun and facts that South Florida has to offer. It's a celebration of aquatic life and regional wonders you won't want to miss. Save the date, March 28th, 2026. Time, 10 p.m. Eastern/7 p.m. Pacific Where, Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Mark your calendars, spread the word, and get ready to conclude your week in style with us. We can't wait to see you there.
All right, welcome back to the Super Bowl 60 post show. Right now, we're going to go ahead and recap the first half of Super Bowl 60. So, right now, let's go ahead and recap the first half of Super Bowl 60. So, Seattle Seahawks received the opening kickoff. And on their first possession of the first half, Seattle scored a field goal to take a 3-0 lead. New England goes 3-out on their first possession and their other possessions through the first quarter. So the first quarter was quick. The only scoring in the first quarter was the field goal from Seattle's first possession. So at the end of the first quarter, it was 3-0 Seattle. Then in the second quarter, Seattle scored another field goal, and Seattle will take a 6-0 lead over the New England Patriots. Seattle got a sack on Drake May, one of 7 sacks that they got on Drake May. Seattle settled for another field goal to take a 9-0 lead over the New England Patriots. So at the end of the first half, it is Seattle Seahawks 9, New England Patriots 1. First half recaps. Three field goals for Seattle Seahawks. Great defense for the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Seahawks allowed 0 points in the first half. Not a single touchdown, not a single field goal. And in the first half, the Seattle Seahawks were able to sack Drake May, which is awesome. And all of the New England Patriots' first half possessions in the first and second quarter all resulted in punts. Now, when you're in the Super Bowl, you cannot have punts in every single possession in the first half. So, at the end of the first and second quarter, heading into halftime, Seattle Seahawks had a lead of 9-0. And this was the second Super Bowl, or excuse me, this was the 5th Super Bowl in Super Bowl history not to have a single touchdown in the first half. Yes, that's right, folks. StreamYard and people in the studio, clip this. This year's Super Bowl was the 5th in Super Bowl history not to have a single touchdown in the first half. So in the first half, there's 3 field goals, and that made the Seattle Seahawks have a 9-0 advantage and lead over the New England Patriots. So that is the first half recap. And now let's talk about the halftime show. And this is the elephant in the room. A lot of people are scared to share their thoughts on the halftime show because they feel it might be too controversial. Now, let me start by saying that I think Bad Bunny is a talented Spanish singer. He did a great job performance-wise. I just could not understand what he was saying because I don't speak Spanish and I don't understand Spanish that well. Now, obviously, I know the basic Spanish words, but not enough to where I can decipher what Bad Bunny was saying. Now, having said that, there wasn't anything wrong with his performance, but this is the United States of America, and English is our primary language. So maybe in the future, the NFL and the people that choose the halftime performers can take that into consideration. However, it was a great performance, and I definitely did not watch the Super Bowl just for the halftime show itself. I watched it for the game, and I came to see football, not a musical performance, but I enjoyed it nonetheless. That's what people should remember. Stop complaining about politics or whoever's singing or what language it's in. You're basically here to watch the NFL action. Now, if you're not a football fan and you're here to watch the halftime show because you like musical performance and you like commercials, I understand where you're coming from. But I thought it was unique to have something cultural. I just wish that he incorporated English into his performance as well. So the halftime show was good, but like I said, I care about the football action going on the field. That's what I mostly care about, and that's what I wanted to watch when I was watching the Super Bowl. So actually, during the halftime show, I was working on our live stream right here, and I was watching the halftime show and working on my show at the same time. So it was a decent halftime show. It was a great performance. Now, a lot of people are upset about the Super Bowl halftime show because there was no English spoken, but it was a good performance. Now, weeks prior to Super Bowl 60, even months prior to Super Bowl 60, even when they announced Bad Bunny was going to be performing at Super Bowl 60, there was a lot of controversy and harsh comments about him being the performer. But I think he exceeded expectations, and I think he did a really good job. So, hats off to Bad Bunny for an incredible performance. My only critique would be that he should have spoken English, even just a little bit. Well, coming up next, I'm going to have the second half recap for you, and I'm going to have my overall thoughts on Super Bowl 60. But but first, I want to tell you about my website. Up on the screen right now is a special QR code. If you scan that QR code, it's going to take you to my website where I've got amazing merchandise that you can purchase. Here is more information on my merchandise. And tonight's episode of Saturday with Alex Cardinale, this special episode, is our 190th episode, which means we are 10 weeks away from our historic 200th episode. All right, let's go ahead and recap the second half of Super Bowl 60. Now, because the Seattle Seahawks kicked off the ball game with possession of the football, the New England Patriots kicked off the second half with the football, and there was no scoring for New England in the second half or in the third quarter of the second half. So in the third quarter, the Patriots were held scoreless once again. There were no touchdowns for either team in the third quarter as well. So there were a couple field goals for Seattle in the third quarter. Moving forward to the fourth quarter, which was the highest scoring quarter of this football game and of this Super Bowl, the Seattle Seahawks got the first Super Bowl of the evening on a very good pass by Sam Darnold that scored the first touchdown. And that really made it a score that kind of seemed out of reach for the New England Patriots at times. However, Drake May was able to throw for a touchdown, and that made it a 6-point game at the time, I believe, or kind of close game at the time, I believe. But then Drake May made some crucial errors, and the Seattle Seahawks defense took advantage of those crucial errors. Some of those errors included pick sixes. Yes, you heard me right. Pick six. One of his interceptions led to a touchdown, and the Seahawks really sealed this game early in the fourth quarter. Drake May was sacked numerous times in the first half, and he had more sacks in the second half. He had a couple of picks in the second half. He had some more fumbles in the second half. So the Seattle Seahawks defense really amped up even more in the second half. And unfortunately, even though the Patriots did get 2 touchdowns in the second half, that was more like garbage time points. Because at that point, Seattle had already won the game in my eyes. So 29-13 final score, and a majority of the Seahawks points came after turnovers. They came after interceptions. They came after a fumble. So the Seattle Seahawks really did a great defensive game, a really good game. All right, let's talk about the biggest plays of Super Bowl 60. Some of the biggest plays. Obviously, the Drake May interception was a huge play because it led to a touchdown that, for me, sealed the game for the Seattle Seahawks. That was one of the biggest plays of this year's Super Bowl. Also, Drake May getting sacked 7 times were huge plays for me. I think Drake May can use those 7 sacks as a learning experience and better himself for the 2026 regular season and postseason next year. And also, the first touchdown of the game was a big play because we went 3 quarters without a touchdown, and Seattle finally scored the first touchdown in the fourth quarter. New England Patriots' first touchdown was a good play as well, and the biggest play for New England was that touchdown that Drake May threw. The couple of touchdowns that Drake May threw. So those are the biggest plays from Super Bowl 60. Who is the Super Bowl 60 MVP? StreamYard, clip this. The Super Bowl 60 MVP, the Seattle Seahawks defense, because it was a team effort. All the defensive players from Seattle came together and gave the Seahawks the victory. So the Seattle Seahawks defense is the MVP of Super Bowl 60. Do you guys agree with me? Is the Seattle Seahawks defense the MVP of Super Bowl 60? I think so. All right. Well, we're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, we're going to wrap up this show with my thoughts on Super Bowl 60. I'm going to get you ready for my 12-year YouTube anniversary. All right, and now it is time for my final thoughts on Super Bowl 60. I think Super Bowl 60 started off pretty boring, but eventually it turned into a good game. I definitely think that Super Bowl 60, the second half was a lot better than the first half. If you look at the fourth quarter, with all the turnovers committed by New England, with all the scoring by Seattle and New England combined, the second half was obviously better than the first half. But if you're a fan of defensive football, you would have appreciated the first half because the only scoring in the first half was done by field goals through Seattle. And if you're a fan of defensive football, this Super Bowl was for you because Seattle Seahawks had a phenomenal defense. So, congratulations to the Seattle Seahawks for winning Super Bowl 60 and becoming the Super Bowl 60 champions and for redeeming themselves from that Super Bowl 49 loss 11 years ago against the New England Patriots. And now the Seattle Seahawks are 2-time champions. Well, No more football for 6 months. That does it for the National Football League. And now we turn our attention to Major League Baseball and WrestleMania. It's a great time to be a baseball fan because baseball is back. Spring and summer is coming and nice weather is coming. It is an incredible time to be a baseball and wrestling fan. And I'm also looking forward to my 12-year anniversary and more. So now we get ready for the NFL draft and Super Bowl 61 in 2027, where hopefully my Tampa Bay Buccaneers will be in Super Bowl 61. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for watching the Super Bowl 60 post show presented by Saturday with Alex Cardinale. I hope you enjoyed this post show, and I hope you enjoyed Super Bowl 60. Now, if you're a fan of the New England Patriots, you have absolutely nothing to be ashamed about. Your team and your new head coach did a great job reaching the Super Bowl, but unfortunately, tonight was just not your night. You can't win them all, as they say. But I look forward to doing next year's pre and post show. Thank you, Saturday with Alex Cardinale, for this great show, and thank you for watching. Good night from Port St. Lucie, Florida, and congratulations once again, Seattle. Thank you for watching this episode of the Alex Cardinale Entertainment. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did enjoy the show, please smash that like button and consider subscribing to my YouTube channel so you'll be notified when I upload a new video or I go live next. And also, share this video on social media so other people can be entertained from the Alex Cardinale Entertainment YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and have a great rest of your day, and I will see you on the next video.